let's be real. People can be lonely. They can feel frustrated. They can feel unprotected. They can feel they just wants somebody close by,
Yep.
someone they can count on, and it's very legitimate. But let's go all the way back to the book of Genesis when this all started, and the Lord has shown us a pattern. The Lord did 5 things, 5 strategic ideas, assignments given to Adam before he ever brought that woman around. Okay, so the first thing was the Lord put the man into the Garden of Eden. Now, Eden is a complicated word in Hebrew. It refers to order, not a location, not a physical location. We can't find it on a map, but it signifies, shall we say, an open door between heaven and earth. If we think about this with a kingdom mentality, the earth was a colony and Adam had a management contract to do some things. So we want to start with a man that already dwells in the presence of God.
I think it's important here to notice God didn't place Adam in his presence and leave him like aimless to wander around and be like, what do I do around here? God's presence is never passive. When he's in your life, he's in there for a purpose, and he produces purpose within us.
Yeah, he gave him a job. He gave him work to do. So the second thing, he has work. He's not aimless. He's not sitting up in his grandmother's basement playing video games all day. He has a purpose. He has an ambition. He's headed somewhere. And then you mentioned another word, to tend it. So here we're talking about to cultivate, to draw out the value in something. Man is engineered to draw the value out of something. A lot of times, whether it's his woman or his work or his home, there's a lot of hidden value, and a man's job is to detect it and to draw it out and to bring it to a state of excellence. He should have a motivation to cultivate his woman, because men have an image in their mind of what they're looking for in a woman, but it's just in his head. And what he should do is not impose that on his woman, but to try to draw it out of her. Okay. And to, if he doesn't necessarily think that the, wardrobe she has is that great, well, take her to Saks Fifth Avenue and buy her some clothes and put it on your credit card, mister. Okay. Take care of her, cultivate her. Okay. Do the things necessary to draw the best out of her, to help her be encouraged and feel confident.
You can go out and you can mow the grass, but there's a difference between mowing the grass and providing fertilizer and providing seed and aerating your yard, right? Like those are the yards that you see are cultivated and they're beautiful. And that's what men are supposed to do to women, is they're supposed to be able to see the things, ask the questions, say the thing. What do you need? What can I find something that she might need? Something like that. I think that's where cultivation comes in. It's not a passive thing. When it comes to spiritually cultivating women, I've heard you use the term wash her with the word. I think of kind of being like an encouragement, like coming through and seeing something negative happen in life, or seeing her doubt her identity or whatever she's dealing with in her life, and him being able to come through and essentially wash her with the word by speaking life into her, by pouring that over her. I guess I've always just kind of pictured it as like the perfect relationship would be if you're having a really bad day and you're just miserable and the house is a wreck and the kids are losing their minds, and he comes in and sees you, but instead of saying anything about the work or the house or the kids, it's, hey, when you are weak, he is strong. Like, you've got this. Like, and just pouring biblical verses over you in that moment to remind you who you are, remind you of your identity.
Men should be alert. Like you just said, somebody's had a bad day and the kids are in chaos and nothing's going right in the house and there's been a lot of distress. So, you just want to be able to hold her hand and pray for her or hug her and speak peace to her. And I believe that that's very reassuring for a woman when she's in a relationship, that man is providing protection. And so that's, in fact, that's step 4 in this, is the protection.
when God tells Adam to tend the garden, he pairs it with another word. And this is what you're going into. That other word is keep it, which means
Yes.
to guard it.
A man is simply, I'll just keep it real. A man's supposed to be the protector of everything under his care. She should be able to see him and look at him in that role. And that's not subordination, but that's protection. Okay. I think that's just a lovely, wonderful word. And we need to acknowledge that that's one of the 5 qualities that God gave to Adam before he ever brought Eve on the scene.
You know, it seems like anything that God calls a man to grow, he also calls him to protect. I visualize kind of thinking about raising your kids, and we're always trying to cultivate our kids, right? We're always trying to bring them up, put them in the right school zone, make sure they know the right information, help them with their homework, help them walk, help them talk. You know, you're cultivating that child to become what you want them to be in life. And cultivation without that protection, man, that would expose your children as it exposes your wife to everything if you're not cultivating them properly and protecting them.
Yes, well said. And then lastly, he received a word from God. Of every tree in the garden you may freely eat, except the tree that's in the midst of the garden, don't eat it. God never told a woman not to touch the fruit or eat the fruit. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was up to Adam to instruct his woman as to what God had said. So again, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what the Bible says. The Lord spoke to Adam an instruction, and it was up to him to hear it, and it was up to him to report it to Eve, and it was up to her to acknowledge it and to follow it. Back then, Adam had God speaking to him and providing correction. But today we need to make sure also that men are in submission to another man, because that woman needs a court of appeal. She needs a place to go in case he's acting up, or in case he drifts away or does something off that he's not supposed to. Where do I turn is what she should say before there's any marriage or before there's any engagement.
Right. So they should have essentially an accountability, someone that's above them, spiritually able to lead them to where if you have some big relationship issue and he's not going biblically, that you're able to reach out to them.
Yes. Very important.
Through looking at these 5 things, as women, we look for the protection, but protection alone isn't enough, because a man can protect what he loves, but he can destroy what he leads if he's not anchored to God's voice. So I think a lot of times we look for that bad boy image, the one that's protective and there and strong and in charge. But if he's not placed in the garden, if he's not placed where he can be in the presence of God, he's going to use that protection in a very unsettling way.
You just touched on something. This now let's speak to the women. Many men are just not following the guidelines, and so they ought not to be followed. Okay, somebody should not be submitted to them, rightfully so.